Hello! Today, I would like to talk about another interesting topic. Shy versus outgoing, advantages and disadvantages in learning languages. And I'll start with this. I see this a lot and I hear quite often that shy people, they feel they may be at a disadvantage when learning a language because, the outgoing person will get more practice because they're talkative, they can have a lot of friends who they will practice the language with. Okay? I'm gonna confess, I'm not very shy. I'm a bit outgoing, and I love sort of going out and meeting new people and trying to practice my languages with them. But I truly believe, though, that someone who is quite shy and who isn't comfortable, isn't really that happy doing this, approaching random people and talking to them in a different language, I believe that they can learn languages just as well, if not better than what I do. Because I think that, like the great polyglot Steve Kaufman always says, input is key in language learning. Okay, so theoretically, someone can just sit at home and listen to a lot of content in the target language, read a lot. Hopefully they'll do both, right? They'll have text with audio, and basically study that carefully. And even without speaking to anybody, I believe that they will be able to learn the language and master it. Of course, I think that in a way it's advantageous to go and try to speak with people because essentially, at least for me, I think that it forces me to just to connect sentences in my head. I also essentially feel like I realize what I can and I can't express, and then later can focus on whatever I can't express that well. Also, I often learn things well whenever I use them in context, and say sometimes a native speaker can correct whatever I said and point it out and say, oh, hey, this sentence was wrong, you want to say it this way, right? And then I usually remember that quite well if someone tells me this. So I find that trying to speak to other people has its advantages, right? And because I do it quite often in a bunch of different languages, it's kind of like I find it a fun way to practice and so on. But going back to a shy person who would rather not do that, I believe that he or she can also, for instance, find a language exchange partner online, perhaps, that he or she may be comfortable chatting with. Okay, so essentially, even if you're quite shy and you just have a couple of conversation partners, that should be good enough for you to practice, right? To get your practice, to get your conversational skills going, essentially, as you're learning your target language. So I think that whether you are shy or outgoing, it doesn't matter. You can master a language anyway. And of course, I've met a lot of really impressive polyglots who are quite shy, right? And from what I've seen, like what they have done is that they've done a lot of input, they've studied the language carefully, and what's really cool is that a lot of them almost become quite outgoing whenever they speak the languages that they have mastered, and because they're so excited to practice them. And that's quite awesome because, I know so many shy people who are so quiet and they have such deep treasures inside, and it's cool that languages can help them, open up a bit and connect with people. And, if that's the case with you, that you find yourself a bit shy and you don't feel that comfortable speaking with strangers and approaching new people and chatting with them frequently in your target language, that's okay. You can still learn. On the other hand, if you are quite outgoing, of course, it's cool if you go and you try to practice the language quite often and speak with random people. But also, of course, keep in mind that input is key, right? That we will also benefit from sitting at home without anyone around us, and actually, we have to study the language, get some input, do a lot of reading, do a lot of listening to eventually master the language. Okay? So I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on the matter, and that's it.